My name is Jessica Jackson. I am a police officer with the Gallatin Police Department. I've been employed there since 2006. For the Gallatin Police Department, all you have to have is a high school diploma. Other departments may require you to have a degree. I do have a bachelor's degree, but that is not a requirement. Once you get hired as a police officer, then you are sent to a 10-week training academy. You will go through that, get your training there, and then you'll come back to the police department once you receive your certification at the Law Enforcement Training Academy. And then you will train with FTOs, field training officers, on the road here. Our patrol officers work 6A to 6P or 6P to 6A. We work 12-hour shifts, and they rotate 2 days on, 3 days off, 3 days on, 2 days off. So everybody gets a weekend off every other weekend. You will come in, you will have shift briefings, sit down with your actual team, your shift. You'll talk about the things that the previous shift did, any areas of concern that need to be looked into. And then you will kind of just go out, patrol. A lot of police officer work is proactive patrol, being in neighborhoods, doing business checks, school checks, things like that. You're essentially waiting for a call for service in your zone, and our city's broke down into 7 zones. Each officer has a zone. That's pretty much the whole day. You're either going to calls for service, making traffic stops, doing business checks, things like that. I graduated from college in 2004. When I got out of college, I got a job as a probation officer, and I did that for about 1.5 years, but I was sitting behind a desk a lot, sitting in a courtroom a lot, and I needed something a little bit more fast-paced, I guess, and interacting with a lot of police officers in that field of work. They gave me ideas, told me things they were doing. I thought, well, that sounds fun. So I went out and interviewed and landed here. So I'll start with the rewards first, because that's that's the better part for me. Helping people, being there for people in a time of need, and not only on calls for service, but we do things like the Shop for a Cop, where we raise money through a golf tournament, and then at Christmas we're able to go buy gifts for those kids. And so just being able to help people, put a smile on their face, or again, if it's a time of need, being there for them so that they have someone that they can look at and say, I trust you, I'm glad you're here, I'm glad you're here to help me. So those are the rewards. Just any time that you can put a smile on somebody's face or help them is good enough for me. The challenges are, things are just different these days. Attitudes have changed. Attitudes towards police have changed. Attitudes in general have changed. People are not as respectful as they once were. So that's a challenge. And just the world in itself has changed. And so we have a job to do, and we come in every day to do that job, and you just have to do things a little different these days than you once had to do. So that's probably the biggest challenge now. I have had less issues, I think, being a woman. I think people look at me as a woman. I wouldn't treat my own mother like this, so I'm not going to treat you like this. And I've had more issues out of women than men, oddly enough. But I think that for me, it's been easy. I've had some confrontation, but it's been much less than what some of our guys go through. I think that's important for people to know that, I still do everything that the men do. I still, I can get out there and do everything that they do, but sometimes, we just have a calmer voice and people just relate to us. We went to the training back, several months ago. Maybe it was the end of 2020. We went to the training, so there's probably 5 of us that have been to the actual training. So then they will send a couple of us to the trainer, and then everybody in the police department will get that. I'm on our crisis negotiation team. I'm the team leader, and so I've already been through a lot of that, and so it's already resonates with me. Like, I know this is what we should do, but you've just got to put it in the hands of the other guys to say, these are such great tools, we just need to use them, and know that they're there and use them. And having somebody available to call is going to be helpful. My advice would be a couple of things. So I always try to encourage kids to go to school and get that degree, just because you don't get any incentives for it here at Gallatin Police Department, you may at other police departments. So I definitely encourage that, because I feel like that continued education is a good thing. But I will say that there also are federal departments, there's state departments, local departments. So kind of look around and see what you think you might be interested in. But always know that you're going to kind of start at the bottom, patrol, probably on nights, but you will work yourself up. That's where I started. I started on nights, I went to days, I became a detective. So I've done a little bit of all those things, and that's just going to be how it is. And I think that's, a lot of people don't think about that. They think they're just going to go straight into being a detective or a drug enforcement officer or something like that, and that's just not how it is. You're going to start as a patrol officer, but just know if you go to a state agency, you may be able to move around the state. If you go to the FBI, you could go anywhere in the country, you know. And so some people want to do that. There's FBI people who have moved all over the place and they enjoy that. So there's just options. So just know that if that's something you're interested in, you could kind of kill two birds with one stone. Get a good job and be able to travel too.